Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Friday night's calendar.
Hello, thank you for joining us. And here are tonight's main stories.
A family, a city, united in their time of grief. Hundreds pay their respects at the funeral of 15-year-old Harvey Wilgoose.
Everybody in Sheffield has felt it, everybody in Sheffield, because nothing ever happens like this here.
We'll have more of the many tributes from today's service, also on the programme.
Literally, 2,500 years of the archaeological record has been removed just in the course of some people having fun.
The hunt for the illegal off-roaders who have damaged a protected part of the North York moors, plus...
Just put the tea in the oven that night, 6 o'clock at night, and we got the phone call that every boxer dreams of.
The electrician from Doncaster who's unexpectedly ditched the day job for one of the biggest boxing bouts on the planet, and...
celebrating one of Wakefield's most famous exports.
Working up to 10 hours a day in a rhubarb shed where too bright a light would ruin the latest crop.
It's been grown there for centuries, but why has demand for rhubarb rocketed?
This afternoon, the centre of Sheffield stood still as hundreds gathered for the funeral of 15-year-old Harvey Wilgoose, who was stabbed to death at school.
The grief of his family was shared by so many more who were there today, who knew Harvey well and described the teenager as the life and soul.
But there were also tributes from those who had never met the teenager, but who wanted to show his family and school friends their support. A 15-year-old boy has been charged with murder.
Well, Michael Billington has spent the day in Sheffield and reports now on an emotional afternoon for so many.
Family, friends and strangers. Hundreds of people here to remember Harvey Wilgoose's short life rather than the manner of his death. And a mark of the extent to which his loss has touched this entire city, people stopped on a bleak Sheffield afternoon to watch his funeral from outside.
You expect to go to school perfectly safe, come home safe, and in Harvey's case that just didn't happen. So, seeing the family and just seeing all the school kids going to the cathedral just now really puts it into perspective.
I've just seen him here. I've only just come and I've just seen him sit outside. All this looks like his school friends, don't he? And that. So yeah, it's a sad occasion.
It don't bear thinking about. I don't know what his family's going through, because we feel impact of it and we didn't know him.
I just feel for the family more than anything else. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
There's no words to describe how horrendous it is, really. It's just but it's so good to see that people have come out.
It's not something that just happened to Harvey's family, although of course they will be the ones feeling the pain the most. It's happened to our whole community, and I think this is a day to remember Harvey and grieve for the life that has been lost, but most of all remember his life and be here to support his family and the whole community, and that's what we're all here to do.
There was more than just a hint of his love for Sheffield United, his coffin and flowers in Blades colours.
We played more on this pitch, to be honest.
Those who came to know him through football left still trying to process his loss.
We're just there to support the family, show his respects to an incredible young man who's sadly been taken far, far too soon. And we're just here to show our respect as a club to the family and provide any support or help or assistance that they need.
We're a grassroots football club. We don't want to be talking about these things. We want to be talking about celebrations like how people have done at the weekend, how we're developing the players, how we're developing links with the community and things like that. So knife crimes really shouldn't be on the list of things to be talking about.
It's little over a fortnight since Harvey died after being stabbed at his school. A large contingent of classmates and teachers at his service, a measure of his popularity, all determined to pay tribute in their own way.
I think one of the most moving messages was from a teacher at his school who said that you could hear Harvey's laugh down the corridor and you could really sense him when he walked into the room, that he brought joy with him. He was somebody who liked to reconcile, liked to bring people together.
We know Harvey well, and he was an amazing kid, amazing kid.
He was just a happy lad, weren't he? Happy lad.
Just happy go lucky,
yeah.
cheeky chap, as we called him. No, they were just no words.
Harvey's family had always said they wanted their beloved son and brother to be the centre of this day, a day which they have called the most difficult of their lives.
We can cross live now to Michael, who's still in Sheffield this evening. Michael, clearly a very emotional day, and many of the mourners, of course, were just children.
Absolutely, Amelia. It is, of course, half-term, a reminder, if one were ever needed, of the ages of those involved. There were children here today, some inside the cathedral and others stood watching from outside in the wind and rain, some of them with parents' arms wrapped around them, all faces of young and old, with the pain and shock of what happened just over a fortnight ago etched on their faces. Now, just hours before today's service, Harvey's family posted on social media how they took comfort from knowing just how many lives their son had touched. We can only hope that they saw just how many people turned out to his service today. Really, though, what they wanted today was this service to be about their football-mad and fun-loving son and brother. And it was.
Michael Billington reporting live from Sheffield on what has been a very difficult day for many.
And of course there's more on that story on our website.
To the North York Moors now, where police are investigating damage to an ancient monument after repeated illegal off-roading.
Yes, the four-wheel drivers have left tracks right through the suspected Iron Age settlement in Wycombe Forest near Scarborough.
Archaeologists are now concerned that some of the history may be lost forever. Chris Jepson reports.
It's a really important site. It's protected as a scheduled monument, which basically gives it the same level of protection as, say, Stonehenge or Whitby Abbey. It is uninvestigated and important because it contains that undisturbed information about the past.
Undisturbed until off-roaders decided to plough right through it. This small stretch of land in the middle of Wycombe Forest near Scarborough is site of an historic monument. An archaeological dig scheduled for April expected to confirm the settlement dates as far back as the Iron Age in 700 BC. Now partially destroyed by 4x4 vehicles.
It only took a few passes. A relatively short period, maybe a few weekends, and literally, 2,500 years of the archaeological record has been removed just in the course of some people having fun.
You can see where the wheels have broken the surface of the monument here, but they've come obviously from this direction and they've driven up, and the kind of force of coming up has really pulled out the bank here and damaged probably several thousand-year-old feature really, and it's such a shame to see this damage here.
You're here to preserve this area, so how frustrating is it when they've come in and done this?
Well, it's very frustrating, it's really quite upsetting. We've had these, I've worked here since 2011 on heritage, and to come and find some damage like this on sites where, we've just not had this kind of damage before, it's really quite demoralising.
The forestry workers had to fell some of these trees to prevent the drivers of the 4x4s regaining access to the monument. But the drivers of those 4x4s came back with chainsaws. The premeditated nature of the offenders, determined to illegally drive on this protected area, has sparked a police investigation. So what are the police doing about this then?
The police have been really good, they've been very proactive. They have got patrols, they come out every so often and patrol, and some of our staff come and help them. But they're very aware, so when they're on duty they'll have a drive up and have a look. So yeah, they are being really, really good.
North Yorkshire Police want anyone with information about the incident to contact them. But for the workers here, remediation of the land is all they can do.
We can't undo the damage. Once archaeological material's been removed, it's gone. What we can do is use this unfortunate incident as an opportunity to record the damaged areas, and we can try and sensitively reinstate it so that it looks something like it used to.
Stay with us, because still to come.
I'll be here with all the sport, including the part-time boxer and full-time electrician from Doncaster, who's buzzing for his big fight tomorrow night.
Join me later here in the heart of the rhubarb triangle, where I learn a few tricks of the trade of growing the flavour of the moment. And
mate, well, let's let this bike get out of the way, mate. It might add to the illusion of motorbikes. No. So, yeah, I'm Guy Martin. Watch calendar later on, and I'm going to tell you a bit about the show this weekend at Elvington.
And you won't want to miss that, I can assure you. Now then, more of the day's news. And Homicide Police is piloting a new scheme which will place rape and domestic abuse specialists in police 999 control rooms. It's one of 5 forces chosen to test the new approach, which aims to deliver a more educated emergency response to domestic abuse incidents. From today, specialists will offer advice as well as identify missed opportunities to properly safeguard victims.
Plans to extend Filey's seawall to protect against coastal erosion have been unanimously approved by North Yorkshire councillors. The work to improve the barrier wall, which shields around 800 homes, will begin next month after the members of Thirsk and Malton Area Planning Committee approved the project yesterday. The 16-foot extension will include reinforcements to extend its lifespan by 50 years.
The Culture Secretary has told this programme she will look at the long-running dispute that's left the owners of the lead mill in Sheffield facing eviction. If you're watching last night, you may have seen our report on how the owners of the music venue lost their court battle with landlord Electric Group, leaving its future uncertain. It's on our streaming service ITVX if you missed it. Well, launching a government arts investment programme aimed at venues that hold cultural significance, this is what Lisa Nandy told Calendar.
I think these venues really matter to people across the UK because they tell the story not just of our heritage but of the contribution that people in places like Sheffield have made to the country. We've deliberately targeted some of the funding in today's £270 million announcement to make sure that we deal with those, and that issue in Sheffield is certainly something that I'll have a look at.
Speed junkies will be descending on Elvington near York this weekend for a show featuring super fast cars and motorbikes, and to hear about a world record attempt.
Guy Martin from Northern Lincolnshire is one of the stars turning up at the Straightliners Speed Show with his special Streamline motorbike. He's on a mission to break the FIA Motorcycle World Land Speed record in Bolivia later in the year.
Yes, well, earlier I caught up with Guy and I asked him if he was looking forward to an exciting couple of days at Elvington.
Well, I say exciting. I think there'll be a bit of nattering going on, mate. Yeah, but I don't think there's much riding going on from my point of view, I don't think. Well, I've just come with my bike. What are we on? Friday afternoon. I've got away from work this morning, come up with my bike. My bike, we've sort of been... We've gone through a bit of a prototype stage over the past year and a half, so I'm chomping to get out. But they're saying there's no ambulance here, so I can't ride today. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, really. But anyway, I'm always chomping to get out, mate. I'm always chomping to get out.
Tell us about Bolivia and your record attempt that you're going to be doing there.
The bike that I built in my shed with the help of a good few mates. I'm trying to achieve 300 miles an hour with that. But then Alex and the Spirit of GB team that are here, they're trying to achieve 400 miles an hour with their motorbike, which is a very different style of motorbike, which we say probably isn't a motorbike, because it definitely doesn't look like a motorbike, but it does have 2 wheels, right? But it's got a helicopter engine in it. And yeah, that's the Spirit of GB's project, but I'm just a pilot for that. I'm not really involved in that other than driving it. And I'm probably 7 or 8 years into land speed racing now, I think. Through many different forms, whether that's push bikes or building my own motorbikes or streamline motorbikes. Yeah, but they all generally involve 2 wheels in some form or other. Yeah, and I suppose, so it's the evolving the bike to get it to go as fast as we could possibly make it. But then a bit of it is really, if you get it wrong, it's probably going to kill you. I think that is a bit of it as well. That is a bit of it.
You don't want to end up in the back of that ambulance, do you? That's the thing at the end of the day. So, I mean, do you ever really worry about that?
No, I think if you was worried about that, it's probably not the right sort of sport for you. But I can sort of say that honestly, that the danger is probably one of the main attractions for me.
Tell us what people have got in store then if they come along this weekend.
There's loads of bikes here, loads of cars here, just daft stuff. Real fast things, turbo, superchargers, nitro, there's all sorts of things. In fact, there's even Graham Sykes here with his steam-powered bike, and that's sort of sort of unofficially is the fastest 8th mile bike in the world. That's steam powered, that's here. Yeah, there's my bike here, there's the Spirit of GB bike here, loads of cars, there's loads of stuff to come and look at, loads of stuff.
I hope everybody really enjoys it, and Guy, thanks very much indeed for joining us on Calendar.
All right, Ian, no bother, look after yourself.
Will do. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. What a nice guy. I'm exhausted.
Time for a lie down. Well, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up, Benjamin Netanyahu vows revenge, saying Hamas has violated their ceasefire deal with Israel. It's after the Israeli military claimed one of the 4 bodies returned by Hamas yesterday was not that of mother Shiri Bibas. A woman who claims to be Madeleine McCann appears in court on stalking charges. And children blind from birth get their vision back after gene therapy in the UK. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
We will, Lucrezia, thank you very much indeed. Now the sport, and Chris is here. And Chris, I have to say, this is going to be a tricky one for Sheffield Wednesday tonight, isn't it?
It is, Ian, and there's a couple of teams not too far away we'll be hoping they can pick up a result. This evening, the Owls travel to Burnley, who are challenging Leeds and Sheffield United for automatic promotion. They also boast the best defensive record in the country. So Wednesday, whose playoff push suffered a bit of a setback with defeat to Coventry last weekend, know they'll need to be at their ruthless best tonight.
It's crazy that you can go into a championship game now and people are asking if you can score. That's how well they're doing. So yeah, as I said, it's a testament to how well they're defending. And if we can go there, and we are a team who does score goals, so if I'm sure if any team can go there and score, it will be us.
Well, as I said, Sheffield United and Leeds fans will be keeping an eye on that one tonight. No stress for them this weekend, with those sides set to meet in a huge clash at Bramall Lane on Monday. Leeds, though, will have to live without their manager on the touchline. Daniel Farke will serve a 1-match suspension for racking up 3 yellow cards, including one for over-celebrating their last-ditch winner against Sunderland on Monday.
There is no other manager in whole Western Europe who celebrates less about goals than myself, but my lads are to blame, if I'm honest, because they just scored too many goals. What should I do? And sometimes, although the fire is burning and try to channel my fire as much as possible, the lads are so brilliant and score so many goals. Even for me, there's sometimes a moment when I can't channel the emotions.
A question for you two. Here we go. What would it take for you to drop everything and just travel halfway around the world? What do you reckon?
Well, if I got to keep my job, I'll go tomorrow.
It all depends on the bosses, doesn't it? Yeah. What they'd say.
I would need to find someone to look after the cats.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, you've got a boss at home. There you go. A few bosses for your cats. Well, it's a good job. Electrician Josh Padley from Doncaster has sympathetic employers. Alongside his full-time job, he's a part-time boxer, and on Tuesday got the call asking him if he fancied fighting for a world title in Saudi Arabia this weekend. Well, Josh didn't need asking twice and was quickly on a plane to Riyadh. The following day, he's now in Saudi Arabia preparing for his fight with Shakur Stevenson after his original opponent pulled out through injury. And a little earlier, Josh told us, despite the short notice, he's there to become the lightweight world champion.
We've had an hour's training for a 3-weight world champion. When we landed yesterday, obviously we got sorted out, and then we went to the gym for an hour for a little shakeout and hit a few pads, watched a few clips on him, and that was his training for Shakur Stevenson, which is obviously crazy. So given I go in there tomorrow and pull this off, this is going to be one of the greatest upset stories ever. So that's my plan as well. That's what I'm coming here to do.
Good luck to him. I bet he didn't think this time last week he'd be in Saudi Arabia talking to us. Incredible, isn't it?
A mental story, honestly.
What a story.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Now, finally, it's that time of year when just one vegetable becomes the stalk of the town.
See what you did there. It's the Rhubarb Festival weekend in Wakefield, when the city celebrates its heritage as part of the Rhubarb Triangle.
A crop forced to grow without light, producing a sweet pink rhubarb.
Since the 19th century, as we know all too well here on Calendar, the 9 square mile area between Wakefield, Morley and Rothwell has been known for producing early forced rhubarb at this time of year because it thrives on our wet Yorkshire winters.
And continuing a 17-year tradition, local producers have taken to Wakefield city centre to show off their produce and cook up some rhubarb recipes. And organisers say this year's bigger and better than ever before.
It's really good. It brings a lot of people obviously into Wakefield, which is what we need.
I think it's fantastic. It's great to see lots of people about and lots of local stalls. Really good.
It's the first time we've been and I'm really enjoying it. And good variety of food, rhubarb of course, that's why we've come.
The reason why Rhubarb Festival is so successful, I mean this is our 17th year running it, is because people really identify that this is part of our heritage, it's part of who we are, so that's why it's so important to people. And it's great for the high street as well. People are coming out proud of the heritage but also really proud and wanting to support their local businesses as well.
It looks busy there today. You popped by on the way into the newsroom, didn't you, Ian?
Well, I live in the Rhubarb Triangle, so I had no excuse today. I had to call in and get a few little treats for the team. And apparently, supermarkets are reporting rocketing demand for rhubarb too.
Well, Ben Basin is live for us at Hopefield Farm in Rothwell tonight, where he's been searching for the secrets behind the flavour of the moment. Why the demand, Ben?
Well, Amelia, there's certainly lots to choose from these days, isn't there? Whether it's rhubarb vodka or gin, rhubarb tea lights, or the newest product, apparently, rhubarb and custard hot cross buns. Well, they all start life somewhere like this. This is a massive shed, basically, full of rhubarb, grown in complete pitch black. These candles are just to help the harvesters pick the vegetables. And you're right, it is very much the flavour of the moment at the moment. A leading supermarket brand said that they'd seen a 200% increase in demand for rhubarb flavoured products compared to last year. Well, let's speak to Janet, who owns this farm. Janet, I know you've been here for 5 generations now, and it's pretty busy at the moment, isn't it?
It's hectic. There's not enough hours in the day to get all the work done. Demand's huge.
Why do you think there is this sort of, seems to be a bit of a trend towards rhubarb at the moment?
I think it's health benefits. The health benefits in this stick are massive. Not just to prevent disease, but also preventing cancer because of the high polyphenol content. It's also a diet food. It's a metabolic stimulator. So basically, it's a wonder food.
And what would you say to anyone who not quite convinced on rhubarb? What's so special about it, do you think?
I think the flavour. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years, and there's a reason for that. And some say it is a gift from God. I think so.
Do you think this demand's going to continue?
I hope so. There's less and less growers. There was over 200 in the Rhubarb Triangle. Today there are 9 left.
Well, Janet, I'll let you get back to inspecting your crop. And I've heard that apparently if you're very quiet and listen very carefully, you can actually hear the rhubarb creaking as it grows. So let's have a little listen, shall we? Here we go.
No, the only creaking I can hear is my knees, actually. I don't know about...
Maybe that was the popping.
Nice to see Janet on the programme again. And the rhubarb, really is delicious.
You're the expert. Now here's Emma Jesson with the weather.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Well, the weekend is here. What a weekend it's going to be. It's going to be a weekend of 2 halves. Saturday, definitely the better day, and then wet and windy. On Sunday, of course, it will be, and there's a weather warning in force as well for Sunday, running from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, covering the shaded areas, so gusts widely 50 miles an hour, maybe 60 and potentially up to 70 mile an hour gusts in exposure. Although I do have to say that the west coast of England are actually going to be windier than the east coast, but still pretty lively wherever you are and very wet to boot. However, as we head into the rest of the overnight period, you'll see that things do dry up and it's going to be quite cloudy overnight as well. There will be some low-lying mist and fog in places, but definitely frost-free. Those winds dropping out, very mild temperatures. And then we are into tomorrow, and the sun's up about 7:10 in the morning, so it's about 5:30 in the evening, and it's a much better day than actually today was, and then Sunday will be. You'll see that some brightness does start to nibble away at the cloud from about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon from the west. However, it could remain pretty cloudy and overcast at the coast all day. The winds will be lighter than today, although 1 or 2 glancing showers here and there. Could be a little bit blustery around those showers themselves, but the temperatures are on the slide. And then look what's coming for Sunday. Deep joy, and we do have the winds getting up on Sunday, initially becoming quite strong and then just easing down a little bit and then becoming strong again. And that's because there's a second little front that catches the first one up, and all that starts to sweep across our patch. So very windy, like I say, very wet as well, heavy persistent rain, and then more scattered showers as we head into the start of the new week. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Oh, dear me. Happy weekend to you too, Emma Jessup, with a forecast like that. Dear
I
me.
know. I was planning a weekend walk, not on Sunday, so it seems.
You need to hang on to your hat, Amelia.
Indeed. Well, for tonight, though, that's it. I'm back at 10:30. Lucrezia is next.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.